Hey there, kids. It's me, Oni the Unicorn. And I'm here to tell you that f***ing your dreams ain't cheap. In fact, it costs a ton of cash to do. So that's why me and the Oh No Radio Show need your help. Just go to the website displayed below and hit us up with some cash, yo. $1, $5, fuck, $1,000,000 if you have it to spare. Any amount is appreciated. Well, I gotta go because these dreams ain't gonna fuck themselves. See ya!
Welcome back to yet another edition, episode 99 of the Oh No Wrestling Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time listening, I am your Shark Break Kid. My name is Owen. Along with me tonight is my good buddy, the King of Bong Style, Duncan, and our predictions champion still, hopefully for not too much longer. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from India, it is the modern day Maharaja Matthew. Welcome, boys, to the show.
What's up, good brothers?
Oh, nothing much. We've just got the lowdown about how you might have to have a finger amputated.
Yep.
So that's always good news to start off the show and the week.
Yeah, I'm a reigning and defending champion. It's like the 24/7 championship. I take it with me in the ocean. I take it with me in the air, on a plane.
Yeah.
Never know when you're gonna get fucked up, you know?
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I feel you. But no, it's been an interesting time since we've last spoke. But we're not here to discuss anything else in the world, but the world of professional wrestling, one of our passions, one of our loves. And speaking of indulging in some passions, me and Duncan actually we got a very we got a taste in our first live show of any description, of course, since COVID. My first wrestling show since last January of 2020, and Duncan, I think you were even further back, like October or something from there.
It was August, I believe, because it was with good brother Matthew,
right?
Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling.
So yeah,
Denver. So yeah, so it had been a minute, and prior to that, it was Double or Nothing. So
right, yeah. So not a whole lot of wrestling for any of us, of course, this year. But we were honored to be invited by a friend, a guy that we both know, who was, who's kind enough to get us in the door, shall we say, of NXT New Year's Evil, and we were able to go last week, and it was. We'll just say it was quite the experience. I mean, it was great to see professional wrestling live again.
mm-hmm.
It was great to go to kind of any type of show again. It was super interesting to see the behind the scenes of how they're all making it work. But on top of that, not the greatest of wrestling shows. Not that it was a bad show.
Hold on. Let's before we
Yeah.
shit on the card.
Yeah.
You gotta really preface it by the fact that it was like every place that you could be was a VIP section unto itself.
Yes.
Okay, so like you're separated from the regular jabronis that you don't know, which is by far my favorite thing about it. Also, there's a little table in each pod that
Mhm.
is, each plexiglass pod that has water and Gatorade
Yep.
and hand sanitizer, paper towels. So like it
Oh, and did
was
you drink the hand sanitizer because they didn't have beer in there?
I was thinking about it, but thankfully I
honestly,
pre-gamed a couple of
Nice.
pre-gamed a couple of claws, so I made it
Nice.
through. I made it through.
yeah, he definitely like could have also brought in 10 million beers.
We had this we have this joke that we almost we could have brought in Arn Anderson's cooler and just sat it down like right next to us. No one would have probably said a word, to be honest with
probably
you.
not.
Especially if it was like
Definitely.
pouring things into a plastic cup or something like that. I think
Yeah.
you could easily get away with some chicanery.
Yeah, definitely. So it was very cool to
Super
be
laid
in-
back. Super laid back. Like the whole
it was
atmosphere.
the most chill wrestling event I've ever been to.
Without question.
I mean, Rocky Mountain Pro was really chill because it was like at a bar/dog park thing, which is just kind of ideal all around.
right.
Yeah, it's an ideal venue, just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. What we needed was less people, more dogs.
More dogs,
But that's so it was really cool to be in the performance center again for me.
Mhm.
And
My first
seeing
time, of
how
course, going.
but seeing how they had repurposed everything and sort of like, okay. It was very sort of, I was very turned around. I'm like, I don't really know where the fuck I am. But they did have a merchandise table set up
Yep.
outside. I was very concerned. I was just like, how are they not going to have merch? Stupid Duncan. Of course they're going to have merch. It's the WWE.
I mean, granted, it's only like 60. I think it was probably between 50 and 60 people in
I think if there were 60, it was pushing it. I
Pushing
think it
it.
was 50 tops.
50 tops, definitely. And a lot of these people seem like they're repeat. Like, I think we were of the handful that were first timers, newbies.
Yeah.
A lot of these people, I think, do go back week after week. They're friends or family of a wrestler or someone on the crew or something like that, I would assume.
Absolutely.
And so, like, how can you really sell like merch to the same 50 people every week? But no, lo and behold, WWE is still out there. There were still things being sold,
and still people buying shit too. And
yeah.
and surprisingly, wasn't us. But it was cool.
Was it a ton of merch or was it?
It was like a little mini trailer, like probably
think of a food
Okay.
truck like size,
Yeah.
like something like that.
And it was just the same as you'd see at like a house show event
Mhm.
Yeah.
that they'd have outside. And
Probably
it wasn't
20,
a
15
whole lot.
shirts, 15 shirts.
yeah, and like some replica belts and like just random odds and ends bullshit. I think stuff they're probably trying to phase through.
There was Steve
Stone Cold, the Orlando 316 Stone Cold smoking skull shirt. I was just like, okay.
I almost, I mean, that was one of the ones I maybe would have bought, honestly.
Oh yeah, it was that and like the Rhea Ripley shirt.
Ripley one. And they had some nice hats out there. The NXT hats are really cool. The trucker hats. I just don't wear hats.
Yeah, my birthday is this weekend, so I was like, maybe I treat myself to some
Right.
wrestling shit. And then I thought about my closet is full of wrestling shit.
That you're and half of the stuff you're trying to get rid of as well.
No, that's all in something else.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
the shit that I wear still is half wrestling shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was cool because like we just kind of parked, and then we see about, what was it, maybe 10 people in front, like
20?
just waiting on the sidewalk.
Yeah, 20 people
Like,
in line, maybe.
Maybe that, and like so we're all just kind of like half-ass spaced out from each other.
Yeah.
And
everyone in masks too, by the way. I will say
not
that.
a mask in sight.
Yeah, everybody was really
Everybody
good
had
about
'em.
that. And that's also not forget that every single person that was going to this event was tested for COVID the day before and had to, come back negative to be able to, attend the event.
Correct. So we're standing there and a bus pulls up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, the fuck is happening? and a bunch of people get off the bus, and I was like,
Well,
oh,
those are all wrestlers, clearly. I mean,
yeah,
just
they're all
yeah.
PC. Yeah, they're PC trainees and other like NXT and things like that.
Mhm.
And then I see our boy, and I was just like, "What's up?" I think Owen, you were the one that like waved at him first, too.
Because
You were
I
just like,
recognized
"Oh,
him. I'm like, oh, it's Reginald. Let me say,
Yeah.
hey, it's our boy Reginald. So
Yeah.
I just wave at him, and then he obviously would have seen you standing next
He
to
probably
me.
could have gotten you guys some wine in your pot.
Oh, that's a
He
good
coulda
call.
recommended
That's
no, he
wine for
definitely could have.
the show.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
He definitely could have.
Yeah.
Um,
He came and he came and hung out with us in our pod for a little while.
and then he
too.
noticed that the camera was on us, and he's like, "Oh fuck, I gotta go."
yeah. Which the
But yeah, it
camera was on us a lot that night because we were
lot.
we were very fortunate because it was just the two of us that we got a very small pod, a lot smaller than a lot of these people come in groups of 4 or 5 or what have you.
9 or 12.
Yeah. Like a lot of that. But we were in a pod just to the two of us, like on our own. And yeah, like we were literally right behind the announce table. If you go watch last week's NXT, you can clearly see us being dickheads. I haven't actually gone back and watched it. I've just had a few people send me pictures of the TV when they were watching it, and I'm like, well, clearly we were on there quite a bit. Like,
yeah, I mean it's kind of easy to notice both like the shirts,
yes,
and just us in general.
because I'm in my Macho Man shirt, and then Duncan's like,
and I'm also in my Macho Man shirt.
Yes, you
which
are.
Matthew also owns.
yeah.
So-
It's the pondering Macho Man shirt, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it's
Yeah.
majestic macho on
Yeah.
the pier
On
in
the pier.
Sarasota with the winged eagle.
So yeah, I
So-
mean, it really was great. I mean, we got to hang out with Reginald. We got to, the whole process was very quick. Like
Drink
once they,
free Gatorade.
yeah, they opened up the lines. We were in there within, half an hour.
It was super quick. It was painless. You sign up, you fill out your form.
Yeah.
Like they're like, "Would you like to be on the list for next week?" Where both
Like-
of us knew we probably couldn't go.
but we both
this
said
week-
yes.
Yeah, instinctively. Like if they
Instinctively,
ask you if you want to
yes.
be on the list for again, you're like, yes. It's like if somebody asks you if you're a god,
And
you say
the
yes.
coolest thing about it is we've had those emails, and it seems like now that we have gone and we're kind of like a trusted member of the community, because they want these people that are obviously, first off, not super spreaders. They haven't had COVID or whatever, so that probably helps in their thought process. And also aren't assholes that aren't showing up to be dicks. Like, we had a great time. We were super polite. They were super polite to us. I felt very welcomed by everyone there.
The woman who checked us in and took
Yeah.
our temperature and everything, she was super nice to us. And then on the way out, she was standing there and made sure to say thank you again.
We both did.
So
We
it's-
both did. Yeah.
So like okay, these guys we could probably bring back.
And
So then let me ask you guys this: what was it like?
Five dicks. That's how many we had to suck.
Yeah.
It was only
so-
5 for you?
Owen
Yeah.
had to do 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say they doubled down on me.
They did.
Yeah.
You must be better than me. But
It's the fake mustache.
So they so like watching it live and being there with 50 people, maybe 60 people, right? In a pod, kind of sounds like Elimination Chamber, but
a little bit.
I mean, it's obviously different when we're watching it, right? When we're watching live on TV, whether it's NXT, WWE main roster, or AEW, all of them are a little different because everything's done a little bit differently. But when you're watching it on TV, the lack of the full crowd is obviously there, right?
Yes.
Having some of it there at AEW and NXT is definitely helpful, as opposed to just screens.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And pumping in crowd noise. But I'm wondering what it was like to be there with a diminished crowd, not at like an indie show that's at like a bar or dog park or some local show or a
Right.
reputable indie show with that many people. Do you still feel like the pops are there and
Well-
everyone, no,
It's a great question. I think I'll say this: like when the atmosphere is there and when things are going like like there's really intense moments, it feels like it doesn't skip a beat, especially when you're banging on that plexiglass and people are banging on that plexiglass, which is loud, like it really
And
does.
hurts your fucking hands.
It does. Afterwards, my hands were sore. I mean, probably not as bad
I
as yours,
bruised-
Matthew, but
no,
but
Matthew's got hand injuries down. But yeah, I was like, ow, my thumb is a little
yeah,
bruised.
I felt like a wuss. But yeah, after banging on it all night, but at times, what was weird is you don't have the background noise. I'll say that, Duncan. Like you don't have the rustling in the seats, even like the chatter of the crowd behind you, like whatever it is. Like it did feel a little sparse and dead at times, especially when you're going to commercial break, or there's not a lot of action going on. And it felt to me almost like being more on a traditional TV set than it did a wrestling show. Does that make sense?
I can agree with that. Also, what I will say is that unlike most TVs that I've been to, Raws, SmackDowns, whatever, it wasn't as noticeable for me when they went to commercial.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Like it seemed to just be more
because
fluid. It wasn't.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Fluid.
Okay.
So it was very interesting, but yes, it did seem to be more like we were the studio audience.
That's 100% the way it felt. Yeah.
And so what was this pod constructed of? So you could touch the plexiglass in front of, because I saw pictures. And also I'm glad you guys repped the Macho Man thing, because I was going to say, you're talking about the rustling and like the atmosphere. I always miss the jackass who's dressed as Macho Man, because there's always fucking one.
Yeah.
He's always like sitting like right next to me for some reason. Every fucking wrestling event I've ever been to is some dude who's dressed, and it's not the same dude.
No, it's a commonplace thing. Someone has to be dressed as Macho at every wrestling show, or rep Macho in some.
I think,
in some
yeah,
way.
I think if someone
dude in the
isn't
gold
dressed as
jacket.
Macho Man, then they're like scan the crowd and they pull someone out and they throw the fucking costume on them. They're like, get back out there.
You're asking the question about what they're constructed out of. I would say they're very similar to hockey boards. Like they have like a weighted base at the bottom, the ones that surround the ring.
So it's made out of that. Like literally those foam padded security barricades that they
and then plexiglass that comes up.
Yeah.
And then plexiglass that comes up, and then a chain link fence
on the wrestler side.
On stage, if you will.
On side of that.
But then in between us, there's more of that.
They were wooden, actually.
Barricade.
They were actually wooden. I looked at those.
Right. They were wooden.
The ones on the sides were wooden and kind of put in place so that I feel like those were a little more freestanding, that if they wanted to move those around and kind of like change the size of pods, they probably could.
Probably do.
Yeah, and I think exactly. So those were kind of just sort of freestanding. I mean, they were very secure. You could lean against them completely. Like maybe they're bolted. I don't think they were bolted in, but maybe they're just heavy ass
but
base.
They were. I think they were attached to the other barricades.
Probably.
So, I mean, I know that the plexi didn't completely connect.
No, there was a tiny gap of about an inch and a half.
Maybe 2
Yeah.
So
inches.
on your backside, then, was it like a
Open.
door? Or did they like slide one in?
All open.
All open. All the pods
okay.
are open on the back.
Spaces, like we could have, I could have done DDPY in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In
fact, you did at one point. I was
did.
like, "What are you doing, bro?"
I was just like,
I gotta get my gains in.
I was up
Bang.
in Diamond Cutter and fucking brought it back. It was rough, man. I had to get them stretches in.
I'll say too, what's interesting, I didn't know this before going, but I didn't realize. I mean, I wouldn't have noticed because we weren't looking at the screens, but the screens look great in there. Like they look fucking cool.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And
I wanted to touch on that.
Yeah,
too.
well,
like that looked awesome when those came on for the first time, and we were like,
just like, whoa, yeah, like
cool.
Yeah, definitely felt very cool. I didn't realize that that's just, I guess, like pre-recorded stuff that they've taken from SmackDown. None of those viewers are live typically. for NXT. I didn't realize that.
Really?
Yeah, like I learned that after the fact. This coming week is the first time that they're actually going to do that. Is have like the Thunderdome essentially for NXT or Capital Wrestling Center, version of it. But oh shit, what was the other thing I was gonna say about it? Like some of the entrances and like when you're in there, because you feel like you're in the Titantron. Like I don't know how else to put it. Like it's so
like it feels it's a little ways away, but it feels like it's right fucking here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So they
Which
had
is so like our vantage point was the same as ours was for Double or Nothing, which was
Very
dead
much.
center straight on.
onto the ramp.
But the size difference was just so compressed down
Yeah.
that it was just like, oh fuck, like it felt like they took 3 steps and they were at the ring.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's a pretty short ramp. I'll also say too, I don't know if it was off-putting, but I don't know that it even needs to really be there. With the ambience of like everybody, cheering, like there's some like sort of dead space or whatever, but of course there's still like it's not loud, but you still hear the fake video game pumped in crowd, like
You hear that while you're
yeah,
there?
you hear
Yeah.
that while you're there,
Okay.
which was surprising to me. I maybe that's for the wrestlers or something, or maybe that's
I think
better.
it is. I think it is. It was weird. It was weird for us. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're just like, when does this?
It sounds
this
off.
loud?
Like it doesn't. Yeah, like if you were to do that, you'd have to really crank that shit up in the building for it to work, and you don't, because it doesn't really feel like a real live crowd. Just it's there softly in the background while everybody else is cheering over top of it. And
Yeah.
so I think they probably mix that differently for live television. It's probably louder at times, softer, and also
It might actually maybe also, even though it's lower, maybe psychologically for the people there makes it so that the crowd reacts and then they
I
know
think
what
that's
I'm saying?
part of it. I think that's definitely part of it.
Yeah, I'm really surprised about the screens and that, like, because you think you would want reactions at certain spots, and how do you?
I think they have pre-programmed reactions. So it's like, hey, everybody
so it's like
cheer.
someone writing like a lighting board, like a lighting designer,
Exactly.
and they're triggering something
Yeah.
at like the peak of like a fucking song, and like that
They've
thing
just got
they're
a
able
video
to, they just know
server.
where it is.
Yeah, I 100% that think that's what it is. It's just it's crazy that I think we were the last like audience probably for that. Now if they're this coming week, tomorrow rather, introducing the live reaction, side of it for NXT. So we probably saw the last of that. All right.
Cool.
Which
So-
I mean isn't. I mean, I'm interested to see how it works with the live video crowd. It was fun.
What's
Like, that was
I'm
the best.
looking at the card right now. What was your favorite match of the night?
I have these. I had, just to make sure I didn't forget. The 2 matches that were standouts for I think both of us.
Both of us. We talked about it on the way home.
Yeah, were of course was the women's match, which I thought was a very serviceable, brutal women's match. They did some really cool spots and some cool stunts that felt, pretty brutal when you're there. I mean, the welts on both
Ooh.
of their backs,
From
those
that damn kendo
from
stick.
those damn kendo
Ooh.
sticks. That alone, like,
And then they
damn.
put the nerd in the locker.
Yeah, the
that
nerd
was
in the
the
locker was good.
Nerd in the locker. That's the best part. Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
Nerd.
And then the cruiserweight match was actually like the surprise of the night. I like Phantasmo a lot. He's one that I've really come around on.
Yeah. Phantasmo's great, and also Lucha House Party, man. Like,
Yeah.
you're put, first of all, the Luchazord costume that
Yeah. It was the Power Rangers thing, right?
yeah. So
I
Grand
didn't know what it
Metalik
was. He had to tell me.
Grand Metalik was a Power Ranger, and then who came out with him? It wasn't Kalisto.
Oh, it was
It's,
the monk. It's always the cat. One.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Him.
What's his name? Him.
He was Luchazord, basically. So he was like Megazord from the Power Rangers, but it was just like a lucha. I was just like, that's fucking great.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
pretty
it.
cool.
So that match was really good. And I also I'm a sucker for lucha matches. I can't even help it anymore after all the time in Mexico and everything. Like just that flippy.
You like
shit,
flip
like,
shit.
I
You like
love it.
flippy shit. There's nothing
I
wrong
love
with
flippy
that.
shit.
I like flippy shit. I don't know if I want all my show to be flippy shit. I want a bit of everything. That's why I'm an AEW fan, obviously.
You need to buy beers that are this big
Yeah.
that cost you $1.
All right, I'm in now.
Then,
I'm in now.
then you will enjoy it.
Flippy shit. I'm
because-
back in.
Yeah. 100 pesos.
I know. I love
Pesos for one of those.
I love that shit. We were both disappointed, though, unfortunately, that the cage match, not the cage match, but what were they calling it? What's
The fight pit.
The fight pit.
Yeah, that didn't happen. Huh?
Looking forward to the fight.
Yeah, it got canceled. But if you looked at the card, it did seem very ambitious to get all that shit in with that match in particular. So
I think that's why we ended up with do what you need to do. I think that's why we ended up with that weird the way segment with Johnny and Candace and and Shotzi coming out and shooting
and then doing
what's
a
his
mix
name?
and then doing a mixed tag after.
Yeah, with Kushida, and I was excited to see Kushida. I didn't think we were going to get to see him, so that's bonus for me. Didn't think we were going to get to see Shotzi, boner for me.
Yeah, well, I will also say I don't think I mentioned this to you, Duncan, after
That you got hard during the Shotzi match.
No, it wasn't. Well, yes, but it wasn't for Shotzi. It was the fact that whilst we were cheering Shotzi, I had the pleasure of Gargano making eye contact with me, telling me to shut up when he was on the ring apron. And I almost fainted because he's so dreamy. I really, it was like John Stamos was looking me dead in the eyes. Like it really took me aback.
I'm looking at some of this match right now, and I'm seeing Duncan fucking bang in on this right now.
Yeah.
Owen is gazed out.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me. Yeah.
It's like, oh, be still my heart. And I'm like, fucking Marty McFly, get that shit.
But he was good. He was one of the few that was interacting with the crowd. There was definitely a lot less of that than you would traditionally see at a small wrestling show. There was a lot less fan interaction from the wrestlers. They would, occasionally here or there, but Wade Barrett, for instance, in front of us on commentary, wouldn't even gaze in our general direction. He was like,
if you were Wade Barrett, would you look at us?
No, I wouldn't. But
didn't think so.
No, but at the same time, everyone was kind of like that. It felt like. Did you not get that feeling?
Yeah, it was a little bit like the audience is there, but don't
acknowledge them. Yeah.
Yeah, Gargano was great. I'm like, that's what you should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yell at them motherfuckers. I think if they didn't have Cameron Grimes being the goofy to the moon guy, and he was more what he was in PWG and that sort of asshole heel yelling at the crowd, that's perfect. That's what you want. But whatever. In any case.
I tell you what, too, Lumis in person, Dexter Lumis in person is even creepier. That motherfucker is scary as shit. And he's another one that couldn't, of course, acknowledge us, but it fits his character. So that's that's okay to me.
The first time I was at the PC, he was there and he wasn't in character and he was still terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm
there's something
about this guy.
There's something about that whole thing.
Yeah.
Scarlet is even hotter in person. Kross is just mean.
He's terrifying.
He just looks mean. I don't want to really hang around.
But him. I got the metal horns from Damian Priest because
that's right. Yeah, you did.
One of his people.
Yeah, you did. You got some straight up metal horns from Damian Priest. So
yeah.
So let me ask you this then, knowing that they've done this and they've been doing it for just a little while with NXT, why do you think they have not done this for Raw and SmackDown? Like obviously you don't have the cage thing. It's brighter. Like
I think
in
it
the
would be
Thunderdome.
harder to
Like,
control because you would need a lot more people. So there's a lot more tests. There's a lot more expense. You're also going into much bigger facilities. I'm surprised they haven't, but I'm glad they haven't in a way. Like it would it make it better? Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if it's an expense thing or
Do
it's
you think
just
it could also be because WWE owns the performance
I think that's a
center?
big part of it because we did have to sign a waiver. And that waiver basically said that if anything, if we were to, we can never blame them for
does
contract.
Vince McMahon own your soul? Like anything that
Pretty
happens to you
much,
ever in
yeah.
your
Yeah,
entire
no.
life.
And we
is-
signed it away
actually-
without even reading it. It was fine,
Yeah.
you know. Like,
No, I saw the part where it turns us into the human centipede. Like,
yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
that's-
I signed something yesterday, last night at the doctor. They had me waiting for so fucking long in this waiting room and like on this iPad filling shit out. I got so tired. I was just like, yeah, agree, sign. And then they were like, and then once they finally got me back, it was like almost 3 hours of waiting. They finally got me back. And I mean, granted, I did go, like, they only have walk-in hours at this one place, but for 2 hours for orthopedic surgeons.
shit.
So like, and other than that, it was like wait 2 more weeks. But regardless, so I go in and do that, and like the PA or whatever, the assistant who's like takes me to the room, she's like, oh, so what are you here for? Blah, 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 you know? And I'm like, basically everything I filled out and then sat there hadn't uploaded to the system, so I had to repeat it all again.
Oh,
while she
wonderful.
which was fucking great. But she's like, okay, so you signed and agreed to, which was the one thing that went through, this thing, and I forget what it was called. And I was like, I was so taken back. It was so funny because she was like, yeah, so you signed and agreed to allowing this to be able to happen. And I was like, wait, what? And she was like, yeah, so the thing over there. And I was like, what thing over there? And it's like this like egg-shaped thing, and it has like 360-degree camera, and it's like recording all video and audio and so she's like, patient Matthew Stafford, birthday, and like she's like saying it and like staying there, and it's been like recording so that like it can record all the interaction between
It's like
you and the
medical
doctor.
Alexa.
Yeah, and it's like constantly, and I just like signed without even, because I was so fucking over it
My
and
God.
tired of waiting. And so like the thing like lights up and it's like sitting there, and then they leave and they're like, oh, well, the doctor's doing a speech at something, and you know he's aware you're here, but he's running behind, so it's gonna be. I like sat in there, my computer died, my phone died, and I was like, this thing's watching me. It was like an hour of me sitting there just like staring straight ahead, being like, don't do anything, don't do anything,
That's
don't
creepy.
do anything.
It's creepy. It's creepy.
It was
as
really
hell.
weird.
That's fucked up, bro. Like,
It was weird, and I signed it away just like you guys did without reading.
like,
it.
I
Yeah.
don't care. Doesn't even
But
matter.
that might be one of the reasons though too is just the waiver situation, because they own the performance center, because it is their space. Like
Makes sense.
these are probably like liabilities that at this time like would maybe just even in insurance to have a crowd that big right now would cost so much. It's not worth it to
I
them.
mean, you think that's
Yeah.
why AEW can do it, because the cons own.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, that's probably.
I wonder what they're gonna
They
do
can
in
do
Miami.
in Miami. Yeah.
Which is interesting. And why don't we switch gears while we're on the topic of AEW? Why don't we switch gears to what happened on the other network last week with AEW? It was a great show. It was a really good show. And me and Duncan both joked about it because it was like, hey, we had a great experience at NXT, but why couldn't they be in Orlando? Why couldn't that be the show, right? That we got invited to. But
So I thought it was a good show. I did write down, and I did want to bring this up. I'm not sure if you guys noticed this. I'm sorry if I'm jumping ahead.
No,
here,
go
but
ahead.
When I did watch it, the one thing that I didn't like, the one match that I was really let down on was Wardlow versus Hager. I thought they were extremely sloppy and really fucking messy, and it made me think WWE sending big guys back to fucking the performance center because
Right.
they want them to tighten things up because they want to do this push, right? And then watching that if that's the reason they sent some of them back was because they want like big guys to push, that made sense to me because it was fucking really messy and hard to watch. It was, especially the first half of it, it was really rough.
Well, have we
in
even?
my opinion.
I don't remember the last time seeing like. I don't know if I want to put it all on Wardlow. I'm a big fan of Wardlow. I like Wardlow. I wonder though if he's just been in such a position in his career where he's always just been the big guy and he's mostly taken on smaller competitors, and it was maybe new to the both of them in a lot of ways because they've both been heavies. And I also think because of maybe
I don't know. I think. No, go ahead.
I was also going to say, too, AEW really prides itself on having so many different styles of wrestling that this was meant to be maybe a messier Haas fight, and they told him just to kind of go at it and I don't know if there's any truth to that, of course, but
there were just quite a few times where the timing like was
Right.
off on spots that they were doing, and it wasn't just I feel like Wardlow maybe did a better job, actually, in my opinion. I'd have to go back and watch, so I'm not but they both at times were one a step behind, or like when the other one was a step or two ahead, and they catching up seemed awkward. And I don't know, as good as the show was, and I'm okay with the storyline and the way that the whole arc of the story of the match ended and what they did with it. I just wanted to point that out. That was like one of the first times where I'd watched a match on Dynamite and been like, that was kind of sloppy.
Well, and the thing that,
apart from the women's division.
Yeah.
well, that's a whole different story. The part that really fucks me up about the way they're booking Hager as the heavy is like, yeah, he's doing the whole Bellator thing now, but he was he was an accomplished collegiate wrestler as well as being like a multi-sport, in
He's an
high school and
athlete.
college. Yeah, like he's an athlete. So why are they just having him be just a hoss when he can actually wrestle? Like, he doesn't need to be just like, he can be the heavy for the inner circle, but that's a different thing. Like, when you get in the ring, you can still wrestle. So that whole booking has just been confusing me pretty much from the beginning. So
That's a really good point.
Like, I think if he would have wrestled a little bit more, that Wardlow be the heavy, like, and play the more traditional wrestler role, quote unquote, I think that match might not have been as lackluster.
Felt clunky. Clunky would be a word.
Yeah. Oh, it was clunky. That's the best way to put it.
It could also be just a case of two guys that don't have innate chemistry yet. Or we felt that a lot of the matches when we watched NXT this past week live, that a lot of those matches, like, there was no chemistry between a lot of the people. Like, it was
like dancers that couldn't find their rhythm.
Okay, there you go. That's exactly
very good way to put it.
That's the exact analogy for what I'm talking about with the Wardlow Hager match.
Yeah,
like they just like it's like that when you are coming towards somebody in a hallway and you both are going like the same direction, trying to get past each other, and that awkwardness, and then it's just kind of awkward from the rest. That's what it is. So they did the Fat Man Waltz the best they could, but yeah, they just it didn't catch its footing, and it didn't find the rhythm, and it just God, what was the Damian Priest Karrion Kross match? Felt like that,
very much like that. Like, they just were, one was a step ahead or one was a step behind, and every move, like, nothing seemed fluid, nothing seemed like it clicked like it needed to. It
was almost like they were dancing to different
songs.
beats.
Yeah. Excellent way to put it.
I don't know why I'm so hooked on the dancing metaphors right now, but,
but it works.
Where we're going.
Have you been watching Dancing with the Stars?
That's Duncan's on. No. Duncan is one of the masked dancers on that.
Yeah, are you
show.
A masked dancer? Or are you on the
he's on there.
Big show, or whatever it's called.
Which I always feel like Cody is saying, "Go Big Show." We love
Yeah,
you, Big
exactly.
Show."
Go Big Show. Yeah.
Yes, I am the masked penis.
Yeah.
In case nobody can fucking tell.
I'll say though, as a whole, AEW's Dynamite this past week had a lot of still very good wrestling. I love the match between SCU.
The match that opened
the
up was
Bucks.
fucking awesome.
Yeah. God,
Yeah,
who were
SCU and
the Bucks?
and the Bucks versus
Jesus,
who was it? It
why
was
am I blanking right now?
Fuck, why
Just
am I
watching it
forgetting?
on BTE.
I'm literally just blanking on their names right now. It's like right on the tip of my tongue. They wear the fucking green.
TH2.
Yep.
Yeah,
TH2 and fuck, who was it?
Was it another? It must have been another tag team. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Why are we all blanking? Like I know I watched this. I
literally
watched
it
this
last
match.
night.
Yeah. One of you will find it. I'm sure.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, we're idiots. Why am I? Oh God, why is it not coming to me?
Yeah.
But that was a great match. There were
that was good. Obviously, Kenny and Fenix
was a banger, and let me just see that again and again and again, and I'll be happy.
Yeah. Oh, the Acclaimed.
Oh, that's right. The rap guys. The rap
Yeah.
guys.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
The rap guys, because SCU was wearing the shirts. Your rap is crap.
Your rap is crap.
That's
and
right.
they kind of talk shit to Snoop Dogg, which I will say, fucking Snoop. Like there was that one skit with Private Party, and it was just so like he was great. Like the rest of the time, his frog splash could use some work.
Right.
But that skit with Private Party, they're like, oh yeah, it's 2021. I brought the gin, and then he's like, I brought the juice. I was like, okay, cool, got it, nailed it, right? Then he just stood there while they like had interactions with other wrestlers, and he just kept being like, okay.
All right.
No other reason for him to be there, and then he just walked away. I was like, that was stupid.
Well, if you watch BTE, you learn that the Young Bucks had to have like a minute or 30 seconds or a minute shaved off their match because of Snoop Dogg, like for TV time or something. They're like, of course,
Snoop Dogg went long.
Because Snoop Dogg went long on something. Like, yeah, good job, Snoop.
But that first match was good. I think and then at the end of it, when SCU, when they were saying that, we're obviously together and we're not planning on losing, they kind of doubled down on they're going to break up as a tag team.
Yeah.
Tag team again. I thought that was good. And they were like, hey, we have your back to the Young Bucks, and they're like, we have your back until it's just us in the ring for those belts. Until then, we have your back. I thought that was good. It'll eventually lead to something, but
I think the three of them at some point probably do need to split. I mean, Christopher Daniels does like a lot of the stuff in the back, like he's getting older. He can't keep doing it. I'm sure he's probably wanted to transition to, backstage life a little bit more, producing or whatever he's doing.
I'd love to see Scorpio Sky get a singles run.
And that's kind of it. Is that Scorpio Sky needs that in particular.
He's the breakout star of that.
Yeah. And whatever, Frank Kazarian can hold his own for.
Yeah.
Kaz is great. I don't have anything against Kazarian.
I have nothing against him either.
I think he's going to be one of those guys that helps put over younger talent. That's going to help, like,
he'll be mid card, like mid high card. Like it would be like if you had an intercontinental championship or something like he could, or a U.S. title, right? Like, he could be in those matches to help put people over.
100%. But
I thought Moxley's promo was great.
I did too. I've liked. I mean, I've never not liked Moxley in this form in AEW, but I feel that this in particular is like, you could see they're sort of twisting the character. It feels to me. I don't know if would people accept the heel Moxley.
I think so. Why wouldn't they?
I think that over time you're gonna see that happen. I think that they're alluding to certain little things with him that are. He's gonna be too much of a baby face that they're gonna have to turn him.
Well, I think that. Well, I mean, that could still keep him babyface, I guess. Even looking too much into what he was saying, but like when he's telling Kenny, like, you didn't win clean, you did this, like we had like that sort of thing. Like, I don't know if that's building up to him starting to play dirty quite a bit to get himself back to that level, which then people are going, because he's not going to do it straight away with Kenny, right? Like, and who knows when or if that's going to happen, anytime soon or down the road. But he starts doing it in other matches, which people are invested in those wrestlers and fucking cheating them out of things. That's a good way to start getting some heat on him.
I mean,
absolutely.
I think that's a good way to do it. And I mean, we haven't even touched on it yet, but Jesus Christ, after that, Kenny Phoenix match, we got a bit of a reunion and a bit of a, I would say, invasion angle on Dynamite this week. Sort of, right? I mean, it's pretty, yeah. I mean, the too sweet militia over here. I was almost a little bit like, ooh, I wonder if this is in good taste, especially because, of course, what happened in the nation on Wednesday with an invasion, shall we say, of sorts. I was wondering if, that I think that was already planned, clearly, because you'd have to have the guys there and all that. But I wouldn't have been surprised if something like that was planned and then they maybe last minute decided, like, maybe we shouldn't do this. I'm happy they did. Maybe I'm being too sensitive to the whole thing, but it's like, it was an invasion of sorts for. I mean, I guess it's the Bullet Club. I don't know. I mean, is it the Elite? What are we dealing with here? And again, watching BTE, the Bucks just say it's complicated.
Yeah.
Where do you think it
I
goes?
don't know. They can call it Bullet Club.
Probably not. No.
I will say, and I'm wearing a Bullet Club shirt right now, but those limited edition jackets that Duncan and I have, I was wearing that a year ago or so, year and a half ago. And what was interesting is that I was in the grocery store and someone at the deli who was working there asked me about the jacket and asked me if it was like a conservative right wing thing, because he saw the guns and the bullet and
right.
He like very clearly asked me, like, hey, is that like some sort of
militia thing?
Yeah. And I was like, no, I was like it's actually like a Japanese pro wrestling thing. I was like, do you know like NWO? I like started there as the baseline.
That's not a bad base.
Like,
it's
a good base.
And he's like, hey, he had no idea. And I was like, no. I was like, it's professional wrestling based, man.
No, it's nerd stuff.
But it was very interesting that you make that comparison right now with an invasion. But like even a year and a half ago, I got that comparison wearing a jacket.
Yeah.
No idea.
I've had one while wearing a Bullet Club shirt where they thought it was related to the whiskey or bourbon. Is it Bullet?
Oh, like Bullet Rye and Bullet,
and
Bullet Bourbon.
They've asked, I've had that question before, and obviously I'm just like, no, it's nerdier than that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I mean, I see where you're coming from with that. I think they had written this like they just couldn't not pull it off, and like the payoff was worth, I actually didn't even think about that comparison until you said it. So,
it might have just been me, but
maybe it's like 50-50, or maybe 80% of the people did and I'm part of the 20% who did. Like, I don't know, but I didn't make it. And maybe just because I popped so hard and was so excited about it. And
it's interesting because like keeping up with like the whole, is it Bullet Club, is it not Bullet Club? Who's very opinionated about this is one Tama Tonga.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he said it's not Bullet Club.
He said at this point it's only Bullet Club when the Tongans are in it. Anything else is just guys that wish they were back in Bullet Club.
Ooh. spicy.
And he also tweeted the hashtag betrayal is real. So, and he did a podcast tonight, which was the like his Thomas Island podcast. He also does a Twitch stream of it, so he was going to talk a whole bunch of shit about that, so we'll see how that goes. But he Fale, bad luck Fale, also still in the Bullet Club. He tweeted out cease and desist ? Hashtag too sweet that. And then Tama replied with, I love that lie. So
oh yeah, that's the thing, is that there might not have ever been a real cease and desist.
That's what the rumor is that there was never a cease and desist from WWE
on the too sweet.
On the two sweets, on the suckets, on any of it.
So
like,
that would have been that's like the Kenny era Bullet Club, right? Kenny Bucks.
That is so that happened. I remember watching BTE and I was in Costa Mesa, California. So it was 2018. So it was just a couple of years ago. Like it's a brilliant fucking way to get eyes on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have been in
sell
LA
a shit
because
ton of merch.
I have that shirt in the other fucking room right now.
And the Tongas are great, by the way, but they wouldn't have a Bullet Club that is this popular if it wasn't for the previous generation. So I think it's obviously a bit tongue in cheek. And then there's probably, I mean, well, I mean, it could easily be a great work for the future too. Like we could easily have something with the elite Bullet Club versus old school Bullet Club in New Japan, and
I would love to see that. It's just as New Japan refers to it, they call it the forbidden door. Like
once
has the forbidden door been opened? Like that's what you have to really think about, because Tonga and Fale don't really do a whole lot of shit that's worked, especially on their social media.
They did they did shit with goddamn What Culture, man. Like
oh, that's true. I won't deny that, but it was also at the peak of What Culture's popularity, which I don't think they'd be doing that shit now.
I don't know. They still get,
you know what I mean?
Views,
like but at the same time, I'm pretty sure they're the only ones that have the legal right, I guess, to use the Bullet Club.
Yeah, it's just New Japan owns it, right?
Yeah. But the Good Brothers have called themselves the Club. You know, they've been part of the OC. There will be some.
There'll be a variant.
There's got to be some good. God, they can't fucking botch it on the name. That's the one thing they can't fucking do right now, is botch it on the name. This stable and what they've built. If it comes out and they're like the Star Dreamers or something like that, they fucking blew it.
Damn it! That's the name of.
We're the Shockmasters.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Speaking of New Japan, though, of course, a big win for Kota Ibushi.
Yeah.
You know, that might tie into things later
Wrestle
down
Kingdom,
the road.
Yeah.
So Wrestle Kingdom. So now he has basically two titles, right? He has
so this has been the way for a little while over there. So
because Evil did the same shit.
Evil won the two, but I think he won them from Naito ? I know Naito had two belts for a while. But yeah, so it's the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and the IWGP Intercontinental Championship.
I thought so, yeah. And I believe I read a tweet, translated into English today from Ibushi, who says that he plans on trying. He's intent on wanting to unify the belts.
Unify them. Yep. That's what I read as well.
Yeah, so that could be interesting. I don't know,
it could be really interesting, but it also, talking about the Forbidden Door a second ago, a couple of podcasts ago when I wasn't on, you guys talked about possibly Kenny having the Thanos, going around. I mean, there is a huge history with the two of them.
Oh man,
That would work in fucking. I don't know how you'd get him over there to do it, right? But it's got to be done in front of the Japanese audience,
of course.
But that would be fucking huge, and that would bring
huge.
So many eyes from America.
Mm-hmm.
So many fucking eyes. That's a fucking dream match right there. Especially because I don't know if you guys listened to the podcast when he and Don Callis were on Jericho, but he did mention about Kota Ibushi. He did mention he did kind of talk and I think it was a work, but he kind of was yeah, even Kota blah blah blah. He's like, but I wanted it more. I always wanted to be the best. I always wanted to be on the top. He was he didn't want it as much as I did. He did fucking talk that little bit of shit.
Right. Which would lead you to believe that maybe there's something in the future there. I mean, Golden Lovers, obviously, we've got the history, we've got everything going with it. So I think there is a possibility. If there's anybody, any match with Kenny at this point that you want to see, right? I mean, it's got to be him. Yeah. We've seen Okada for so many, Kenny and Okada, and that's great. Not knocking it, but
those are classics. I mean, literally, don't do that again. You don't need to touch perfection.
Yep. It's like remaking a really good movie. You just don't need to do it sometimes. So you just leave it.
Yeah, it's like remaking Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Don't put that evil out into the
It
universe.
already has been.
It's already out there.
We talked about it on Ono Radio Show. Yeah. Who is it again? I think it's a Will Smith thing, right?
I think you said it was Will Smith and Kevin Hart.
I think that's it. I think Will Smith and Kevin Hart
That's proof that we have jumped into an alternate dimension because there is no excuse for that. Ever.
Yeah.
We've also got.
That was like when I saw that they did an Uncle Buck show.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
You know what? I will now quote something from Uncle Buck, and I'm gonna say it to that show. Blow it out your blowhole.
Yeah, I love it.
You guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. It's fucking what's his face? It's Macaulay Culkin that says that, isn't it?
Yeah, blow it out your blowhole.
Yeah, goddamn Culkin. Big wrestling fan too, so that's always nice.
Yeah.
He's the reason that I discovered bar wrestling.
Because of that one Home Alone
when he
show.
Did they did the Home Alone show, and I was just like, fuck, that's an hour away. I'm
going, yeah.
I wonder if he's still wearing bunny ears right now.
That
was kind of his thing for a while for some reason.
Well, he does a podcast called Bunny Ears.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Never heard
it's it's actually not bad.
I've never heard of it. I'm not knocking. I just
but I'm just saying, as far as gimmicks go,
it's
bunny
like
ears.
I mean, you've got Disney, Mickey ears behind you. It'd be
but I don't wear them everywhere I go all the time,
or to the ring.
Correct. Maybe if that was my gimmick, but it's not. It's my wife's gimmick.
Do you guys think the Jay White thing is a work or a shoot? Do you think he plans on going anywhere? Because I feel like he's probably staying in New Japan.
I think he's staying.
There's rumors that he signed one of these crazy deals with them too. I don't know if it's true or not, but Meltzer is seemingly saying no, that dude signed a 7-year contract with New Japan after,
which is unheard of.
Which is unheard of because they only sign guys for 1 or 2 years usually, right? And then so he signed this crazy deal that was right on the heels of course Kenny and the Bucks and that whole exodus to start AEW. It was kind of on the heels of that they signed him to this crazy long deal. So even if that's not 100% true, I still see I think it's beneficial for Jay White to stay in New Japan. I don't know that there's NXT, I guess I don't see him as a main roster guy. He feels like an NXT guy or an AEW guy, and AEW doesn't really need somebody like that. And I don't know that NXT does really at this point either. That's just my 2 cents on it. I feel like.
Well, apparently, I just looked it up as well. They still have White booked for and advertised for events in March.
So it's
So
bullshit.
yeah, and Meltzer had in 2018, he said that he had signed a 7-year contract.
Wow.
So he's still got quite a few years
Yeah.
left on it. So we'll see. I think that honestly, it would be it would be one of those that would just get wasted in NXT.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Because right now NXT is sort of they're in one of their valleys as far as creative and stars are right now, and they're gonna work on the upswing, and there's gonna be a new like group that breaks through and starts, and like Shotzi and Kushida and like Kross will be there, but Kross I don't think he'll be main roster sooner than he will be later.
Yeah. I mean, he just looks like a main roster guy. Let's be honest. He does.
Yeah.
He does.
And apparently Damian Priest's main roster call up has all been inevitable.
Did you hear that rumor that they were going to insert him into the Roman KO feud?
Yeah, I did hear that.
I don't know how that fits in.
It doesn't, and that's why Roman, like KO, was just like, I don't understand how that fits in. I'll do it if that's what you want. And Roman was like, yeah, that doesn't work.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Yeah. I'm glad that they at least listened to them speaking
No
up.
shit.
Maybe.
Thank God, because they were about to fucking ruin it.
Yeah.
I am interested in two people, though, that are free agents right now, it seems. Of course, we've got Marty, who we talked about last week, and where he could possibly go. But now it seems...
about the Peacock, huh?
Dalton Castle is
fucking love Dalton Castle.
Man, I know he could do well in NXT, but for me, Dalton needs to be an AEW guy. Like, I think that there's a better shot at him really being able to utilize his gimmick in AEW than he would be allowed to in NXT, and that's and
he would never get away with it. Even though they let Dream do the weird gimmick, right? Like the weird sort of like androgynous gimmick. I did read that Ring of Honor is still interested in re-signing him.
It might be a play for a better deal or whatever, and more power to him. Why not?
Absolutely. But I do agree with you. I think that AEW would be a much better fit for Castle than WWE or NXT would. Again, you'd get lost.
You'd totally get lost.
He's a star, and Ring of Honor and AEW can showcase that.
I've loved him from the first moment I've seen a match with him, man. Like there's something about him. He's just like it's an instant charisma and charisma. Like,
he does have the charisma.
He does have the charisma. He's kind of if you were to build a pro wrestler for Owen as like his favorite, it might be Dalton Castle. Like he's on that list.
It would be Andrew WK in a wrestling ring.
That's true too. Yeah, that's true.
So.
With a little bit of Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
Right? I did see a picture the other day
Orange WK.
of Orange Cassidy, and for a second I thought it was you when I was scrolling through. So I was like, "Fuck, it looks like Owen."
Does happen.
Good looking doesn't have the beard like I have though right now. I mean,
that's true.
I've got a much different look. I'm looking a little bit more.
Well, I mean, you're
like Joey. I'm looking a little bit more like Joey Janela meets. I don't know who.
Oh, there you go. Andrew WK meets Joey Janela with a sprinkle of Orange Cassidy.
With a sprinkle of Luke Harper with my ponytail going on at the top as well. So.
Yeah, that's also kind of a Wardlow look.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So speaking
RVD
of,
did it first.
He did. Speaking of contracts, and turning to WWE, have you guys heard that the rumor that I've read is Riddle has not signed a new contract?
Oh, interesting.
And neither has Ricochet.
Ooh.
Oh.
And Ricochet signed a 3-year in 2018. I remember correctly. So his would be coming up.
Ooh.
And Riddle, I'm not sure when his is up, but I know obviously they've been pushing. I would have to look that up. But my understanding is that they were offering him a new deal and he hasn't.
Yeah, they
signed
were
it
working
yet.
on it. I know that.
If
Yeah,
if
they were
I
and
if I were to guess, I think that Riddle resigns, but Ricochet might not. And I think because Ricochet too has, of course, the obvious is like, well, AEW should snatch him up, and they probably will try to, and I can see that being logical.
But he could work
But
in a lot of other places.
I can see Ricochet going to Ring of Honor and being a
That I
top.
was gonna say,
you know,
yeah.
because he's already got history there. That would seemingly work out. And hell, let's not forget New Japan either. Like they might welcome him back in a heartbeat. Like he's done stuff there as well. So
Yeah, I think Riddle's harder to pin down outside of WWE right now, like where he would actually fit, where he would. I mean, I think he would do well, but I just don't know how you would, if you are allowed to change the gimmick or if you have to in order for that to happen and how that would work. I just don't see him fitting.
I don't think you can.
I don't think he can. I don't see him fitting very well right now anywhere else.
Yeah. I think what I know it's cheesy, but Riddle's been doing all these backstage segments and kind of like really playing up the bro shit even more so than he has done in the past. And it seems like they're still kind of invested in him. And I would be surprised if they didn't come across with a decent offer. I think he's one of those guys they see as a bit of a draw, especially because of his UFC background. They're one of the ones that they're gonna throw some money at him.
They threw $400K a year at him.
Yeah.
And he
signed
still
for
hasn't
more.
signed yet.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then he got offered more.
Yeah.
Well, and with all the allegations that were
buys
against
a lot of
him,
weed, man.
Yeah, with all the allegations that went against him, it is proof that they obviously still like him a lot. That they see a future in him. For them to have not, taken him off TV or anything.
No, they didn't. But they also haven't. It hasn't cost them anything either.
True.
It's true.
So it's looking at it from WWE's point of view. Like, maybe he'll resign, maybe he won't. Maybe he'll end up somewhere else. Like, I don't know. I could definitely see him. I could see Riddle ending up. I could see Ricochet ending up in AEW, Riddle ending up in Ring of Honor.
Oh. Backwards to what my thought process was, but okay, yeah.
I could see your thought process exactly, but I can also see it the other way around because I think Ricochet has a lot of history with a lot of the guys he has history all over with everybody. But yeah. I think that, I don't know, at some point you're going to end up with too many stars in AEW.
They're on the borderline with it now.
Yeah.
They're close to, I think, having to launch like either Dark as its full real show on TV or something. Like they're close to having to do it just to, even if it's an hour long,
showcase the rest.
Yeah, just to showcase the talent.
I was listening to something the other day. I forget what it was, but some podcast, and they were saying that that's why. It's probably Jericho or something. I forget. It was maybe him and Arn or something on the Brody, maybe. And they were talking about, I think that's why Dark runs long every week, is because Tony doesn't want the wrestlers to not get paid. Like he wants them to show up and get paid to wrestle to get the exposure. And they don't have the ability to do that on Dynamite. So like, Dark runs really long because he's like, well, if you showed up and I'm paying you, I want you to wrestle and I want you to get exposure, which is a good thing. But he's like, but then they started talking about that third show and what does that do? And we've talked about it before. We've kind of really dug into it, but I mean, how do you, I don't know, where do you place that? What does that do to Dark? Is it then kind of like a 3-tier system? And then with as much wrestling as there is every single week, and then things like being the elite and things like that, like how do you then vie for everyone's attention and like viewership? and things like that, because that's such a big thing. And when there is so much wrestling and there's so much with like, you know, you got to fit it into your big shows, you know, when people are actually watching. And when things are too long or too hard to find, people aren't going to watch it.
I typically not to interrupt, but I typically do these at the end of the show. But on Facebook, it just ties in so nicely. Our good friend Deuce has asked that, what are your thoughts on the length of BTE lately? The longer length is getting people like Leva Bates and Chris Statlander some FaceTime, but it just seems like they're getting a little too long. Your thoughts? So it goes back to exactly what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
I literally watched the newest BTE earlier today.
It was
and
over 30 minutes, wasn't it? It was
38 minutes.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is way long enough. I like BTE. I'm glad that people are getting but I think what BTE is throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. And in some cases, they're giving too much
spaghetti on the fridge.
Yeah, man. Like, the private party Matt Hardy segment, I was just like,
I could have done without that.
Could have done without that.
So yeah, so now you're talking quantity over quality.
Right. At what
And
point do you have to make that call?
Yeah, and some of BTE used to be great, but when BTE was great was when it was focusing on the Bucks.
And it was like 15 minutes long.
Yeah,
12.
But it was
a lot of the
focusing on
times.
the Bucks, Kenny, Cody,
Yep.
and Hangman.
Mm-hmm.
When that was being the elite, it had more impact, and it was, I don't know, it switched from tying together all their storylines to trying to tell their own storylines that aren't going to be on TV.
Some of them have been, they've definitely brought some stuff over, but I do
Yeah.
think that is confusing as well for the regular cable audience that doesn't watch BTE and then has to be like, well, why are these two like that? Or why did he do that? Or whatever it is.
Mhm.
That's something that they don't do a great job on Dynamite of kind of explaining. Like, they need to put a 30-second clip from BTE in there every once in a while, just so you can see why this story is this way. Like, why is this person mad at this person? Whatever it is, Like,
why are we going to see Luchasaurus versus Brandon Cutler on?
Right.
Yeah, and to your point, like when it was, at its best, it was obviously a little shorter, but it was around that core group of people. Obviously, you can't keep it that way. But it's like any TV show at a certain point. Like, if I'm watching, this will date me or something, because I don't fucking watch any like sitcoms or whatever, like they're all pretty horrible except for fucking like Seinfeld and Curb, but like I care about those core group of people on that show. Like, if they start branching off and telling stories about the people that they interacted with, I wouldn't care.
Right.
The only exception is that John Silver just needs his own show, and I would watch that 24/7 because that's all I care about on BTE at the moment. It should just be the Dark Order show, like that.
When I was in Scranton last week, I was flipping through the channels. There's, because you can't do like on demand in that amazing hotel that's there. But I ended up watching fucking Ed TV with Matthew McConaughey.
I
from
remember
Music.
that.
So they should do John Silver like that and just follow him around 24 hours a day. That's your show.
I'd watch it.
Call it Silver Screen or something.
Oh, you even got the name for it. Oh man, it's like the original Justin.tv.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, throwing it back to the Justin.tv.
Have you?
But I do think, and I haven't watched the latest one.
Okay.
They are doing a lot. They're cramming a lot in there. There is already too much length of time happening on Dynamite. They can't cram, on Dark. They can't cram everything into Dynamite that's needed. And we've talked about this problem before, right? And I guess this is kind of a good problem for AEW to have. but it does need to be dealt with. They can't just keep extending things that are not on cable.
Yeah,
right?
they're going to have to do a secondary show, even if it's an hour, or they set up something like a WWE network where it's a subscription based thing that they can put like BTE on and put maybe another show on or something. That would be the way I would want it to go, because I think that that's going to have a better viewing base around the world. It's just also, is that going to detract from the TNT audience? And I think they're worried about that.
Fucking make TNT pay. Like I would pay
Yeah.
$5.99 or $6.99 a month. Just like it's such a pain in the ass to like not have it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
Right.
I've told you guys my secret, and I finally actually this week. So off the record, I will totally not give Duncan my username and password to use it, but literally just said I bit the fucking bullet and know which one's the fucking so I can just watch Dynamite every week and have it recorded.
Nice.
I'm like just fucking. I was like, all right, whatever, $20 a month, knowing that I can watch it live and or just have it recorded. Like I'm
worth it.
done.
Worth it. Yeah.
Just because in the past couple of months, I've also I've gone through so many of the different platforms. I've kind of forgotten to cancel some of those in the trial period.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, $64.99. Wow.
Whoa, hey, that's fun.
Like,
yeah.
whoops.
Yeah, that was fun. So I finally
have to call about Mile IQ, which is about to fucking randomly reset. God damn it.
So just last week, I decided, I was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. For $20 a month, I'm just gonna
it's
worth
do
it. It's actually worth it to me because I really enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, all right, that's like $5 a week. So fuck it. TNT, give me a fucking, and like, allow me to have all this additional AEW content.
The All
TNT
Elite Network, just do something.
And I just listened to Cody on a podcast, and Cody's like so in with wanting to do everything on Turner. It's the Go Big Show.
Yep.
Go Big Show. And
I love the Big Show.
And it's like, it's that, and it's like he's saying, he was like, oh, I want to do everything. I want to commentate for the fucking Braves. I want to do this. I want to do that. Like, he's like, I'm so bought in on the Turner Warner family, or whatever. And so I think if they were to do something through their, you would get a lot of wrestling fans that would sign up.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'll say this too, Duncan. You said you watched BTE.
I did.
Okay. Did you see the part where, or let me just ask you this. Do you think that Jake the Snake Roberts butt fucked Alex Marvez for 2 hours? Because there's kind of there was an insinuation, shall we say, after Alex Marvez was dragged into Jake the Snake's trailer, and then it went to 2 hours later. Jake was looking real rapey. That's all I'm saying. Is
like a black snake moon type of
Jake
vibe?
is a little more like a Bubba Hotep-y kind of vibe. I think actually, like he had this gold shirt on.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, Jake has looked rapey for 35 years.
Oh, he's never not looked
it's
rapey,
the
really.
Mustache, bro. It's that thick fucking.
Yeah, but you've also heard him in interviews and shit. He's like, when he's like, I've done it all. He's like, you go home to your wife, and it's like, nothing gets you off because I'm like paying women to fucking fuck themselves in front of me because I can't even get it up. I'm like,
right,
Jesus,
exactly.
dude. Like, what crazy sexual rabbit hole have you gone down?
Well, I mean, he has his own past too, unfortunately.
Right.
How many
so
snakes
I'm not trying to downplay that, but
the
do you think he calls his dick the snake?
Lucifer, of course, or Damien, or what?
Yeah, Damien or Lucifer. He had one of each. But the weird fucked up part was when Marvez came out and he's just got the little something not right about all that. That's Jake's sperm.
That's Jake's sperm. Yep.
I haven't seen it. It sounds fucking weird.
Jake comes snakes.
Apparently.
Just so you know.
Well, sperm looks like snakes, and we said Randy Orton, like the snake, remember, on the fucking WrestleMania ramp?
Yeah.
Like it looked like fucking giant.
It did look like a big jizz.
It all comes together.
And that is the name of the episode. Is Jake comes snakes.
Jake's. Yeah. I'm writing it down right now.
Yeah. I also don't think you guys appreciated my play on words there, saying it all comes together.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
Full circle.
I'll
Yeah.
say, well, full circle even further. You were talking about Randy Orton, and on this last episode of Raw, which was very interesting, we had a Randy versus Triple H encounter and fight. Like, was this just because that Drew got the COVID and they needed to boost some ratings, and Triple H went, "I'll do it"?
No,
Like,
it's because Randy Orton has a new clothing line that he's trying to hawk, and it's
is that it?
Yeah,
I hadn't
it's
heard about
called-
any of that.
well, it's called Slither, SLTHR. I'm not even kidding. It's him and his wife's new clothing company.
Do they look like Affliction shirts? Tell me they look like Affliction shirts.
You know goddamn well they look like
Oh my
Affliction
God,
shirts.
I'm looking this up.
SLTHRshop.com.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, jeez.
Just SL what?
SLTHRshop.com.
There's not even a Y in there.
Nope. Or an E. They have a Viper sleeveless hoodie.
Oh my God, I really hope they sell sleeves. Of
Oh my
fake
God,
sleeves of
they're sold
tattoos.
out. Are you fucking shitting me? They're sold out of extra smalls, larges, and extra larges. They're actually selling this shit.
Strike in style. That is the name, or that is the tagline.
That's the tagline.
Holy shit! This is the
It's like
ugliest shit I've ever seen in my life.
it's like
I'm gonna have to
Affliction
pull this
and
up
True
now.
Religion butt fucked each other.
and came out with like a shittier version.
Share
Exactly.
your screen, Matthew, so we can
Yeah.
see this.
Okay,
Can you do
here.
that?
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, let me share my screen.
They're
here.
masks.
Oh, it says disabled screen sharing.
Oh, that might be just in my settings.
If you just go down, hover over screen sharing at the bottom of your Zoom,
Yeah.
you should then have something that pops up, and you should then allow me to do it.
Hang on here. No.
Oh my God.
that's not
Like,
it.
because really people need this fucking red and black
There should be, like, a
tie-dyed
little option.
monstrosity.
What is this? What does that look like? I can't see.
It's like at the bottom. There's like tabs on the bottom. There's like a toolbar,
Yeah.
Oh.
right? And you see like participants, chat, share screen. There should be like a little,
Okay, like an arrow thing. All right,
yeah,
all
like
right.
yeah. And there should be when you hover over it, there should be like a little option for you as the host to allow sharing.
Advanced sharing options.
Yeah.
Who can share? It won't let me select it. Maybe-
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's horse shit.
Well, that's horseshit. I said multiple participants can do it at the same time, but it's also saying that
Oh wait, I got it. You clicked on it. You got it.
I got the right one.
Yeah, you got me.
All right.
Dude, wait till you get to the second page.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah. Can you see this?
Yeah, it made everything go crazy though. 1 second. Hang on.
Oh, did it make everything go wild on the old
Yeah.
Twitch screen?
Yeah, it did. Hang on. We got it though. I can see it. Now I can see all you. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is.
Let's get into the.
I like how
wow.
he's got them like a hoodie with pre-cut off arms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that's
this
what I
shit
was
over
saying,
the
the-
forehead.
The
Like,
slither.
look at this blood moon serpent.
That's what I'm
sticker.
saying,
That is
like-
the most stylish thing I've ever seen in my life.
Do you think his wife is designing this for him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, this shit right here, this blood moon serpent and the black dye, this looks like they literally watched TikTok videos during COVID and learned how to tie dye.
Yeah.
Is what
Go
that
to page
shit
2.
looks-
You're gonna love
Oh
this.
my
Oh,
god.
look at these. The Ram collection.
Yeah.
The
Wow.
Ram collection.
No, but the women's collection is the KMO collection, I believe it's
Oh.
called.
Okay. What does
And
that
it's
stand
not
for?
better.
Faithful dagger.
Kim Michelle Orton, I think.
Oh,
Okay. All right.
just as shitty. What kind of accessories do
Let's
they
see what
have?
accessories. Oh, we got face masks with the Slither
Coffee
logo
mugs.
and a coffee mug.
Oh,
Hair-
sweet, a $10 gift card. I know what I'm getting you for your birthday, Duncan.
God
Yes.
damn it.
Can you get me
Can't
the
even
socks?
buy anything.
Can you get me
Can't
the
even
socks?
buy anything for $10. That's the
No,
fucked
but,
up part
I
too.
Yeah,
mean,
there's
but
the-
you're getting in the door. I mean, come on, man.
What do they-
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
What
I
do they
mean,
got for
never
kids?
would.
That's
Oh, let's see what they got for kids. Please tell me they got only one. Faithful Dagger winter hoodie.
$37 bucks. Let's see.
But let's
Always
see what's-
Strike in Style, St.
Oh.
Louis, Missouri. Yeah, because I really think that like this design makes me think of fucking St. Louis, Missouri.
We just
Me
took
too.
some really bad tattoo. No, you know what they're trying to do is they're trying to rip off HBK's fucking
Yeah.
tattoo.
Yeah, come on. Get
Yeah.
out of
Throw
here.
throw a heart around that dagger.
Ridiculous.
That's
This
bullshit.
is some bullshit right here. Born
Yeah, I'm
and
s-
bred in St. Louis.
I'm sorry that I had to.
I like how he uses the same website designer as Ono Media. Very shitty. Like, very, very rudimentary, you know? Like,
Yeah, is that Squarespace? What is that?
yeah. That is freewebsitebuilder.com, you know?
free
Oh.
website builder.
He can't even afford fucking like Adderall cracked out web designer.
No, but he's gonna sell these camo shorts for $45
Goddamn right he is, and I'm gonna buy all of them. Who do you think bought all the extra small and extra large?
Yeah, it's just for him. Like, yeah.
I'm reselling that shit on eBay.
Dude, they're
know you are.
they're collectors, man. They're collectors.
Yeah, I'm trying to quit my job, man. Come on.
So we're
Gotta
gonna
get in
I
somewhere.
could find you a better hustle than that, bro. You come down here and be a Disney reseller. Go to the outlets,
Fucking
buy some shit
Slytherin.
every day.
He's real
shit's a
close to
racket.
infringing on Harry Potter.
do you
I'm
think
just
we get
saying.
a Randy Triple H match at WrestleMania? Because I'm getting this. I'm really feeling that we're gonna get.
Well,
Yeah.
we
I-
did go an entire year without a Triple H match
Yeah.
last year, so logic
Yes.
would dictate
It's like
that he-
51 now.
dude, his ego will not allow him to fucking not be in a match at WrestleMania again. I don't think.
Was he in last year's Mania?
No, first
oh, probably
one.
because there's no crowd.
Yeah, he can't.
Yeah,
do,
it was a year without an ego boost.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's due for
So-
one. He's due for one, so he'll be
yeah,
back.
but does that throw a wrench into the fact that last week we talked about the possibility of Edge showing up somewhere in the Rumble or something like that?
Triple threat, and Triple H buries all of them.
Triple H, and Edge, and Triple H hits them both with a pedigree at the same
time somehow, and breaks Edge's neck again, and we never see him.
Yeah, he just needs to get injured again.
That's right.
Jesus Christ.
What about what's going on with Roman and Adam Pearce? I kind of
Dude.
love it.
I thought that was ridiculous watching him walk down with the hoodie, like actually like he was going to wrestle. There was then a tweet. Hold on, let's see. The tweet that I saw actually from Adam Pearce, because literally the only thing that I actually just started typing in tweeter, but it's Twitter.
Tweeter.
But the
Twitter.com.
only thing I have notifications on, and like the only thing that they ever send me are like wrestling updates
I mean,
um,
yeah.
for notifications.
The algorithm
And-
is correct then.
yeah. And
His
so
algorithm is correct.
mine actually is on Twitter. They nailed
Yeah.
Nice.
it. So he did say 3 days ago at Scrap Daddy AP, Adam Pearce.
Yeah, that's the
Uh,
most ridiculous Twitter
I know.
name. Scrap Daddy Adam
Scrap
Pearce.
Daddy. He
Kind
said,
of like
I-
it though.
I enjoyed my 2-decade ride. I honestly loved it. And at the end, I was ready and happy to ride off into the sunset. The quote, head of the table, put the keys back in my hand and forced me to take the wheel. And so we ride again.
I like
Giddy up,
it.
little doggy.
Do you think they're actually going to have a match?
I think they're going to have him
No.
take a couple more bumps.
Then
I don't think that there's going to be a couple of spots. I don't think there's going to be an actual match. I think it's going to be what we saw on SmackDown, which was him doing an entrance, supposedly doing a match, and then him taking a bump.
I hear you. Yeah, that's probably they're gonna do something with him. I have 4 quick Adam Pearce facts if you want to hear them. Do you want to hear my Adam
Okay.
Pearce facts?
I mean, I was actually working earlier today, and I was like, you know what? The one thing I would love more than working right now is learning more about Adam Pearce.
well, I'm gonna. That's a good thing that I'm here
So,
for
thank you.
'cause,
Thank God.
On June 24th, 2020, Pearce announced that he had tested positive for COVID-19. So there's your first fact. Pearce
Got them antibodies.
got them antibodies. I think we've talked about this before in the past, but he is a 5-time NWA champion, which that is actually
That's
quite
pretty. That's a pretty.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I know
impressive.
he's been a PWG champion as well, with a couple of other places as well. He's been a booker at Ring of Honor. These are he's got quite the list of accolades, but I'm reading out his best ones.
Number one, and you let
Number
off with
five.
he had
And
COVID.
COVID.
Yeah,
COVID was
yeah.
the first one.
Yeah.
I like your priorities. It's good.
On July 20th, 2011, Pearce debuted as U.S. Marshal Adam J. Pearce at the Juggalo Championship Wrestling's event Above the Law.
JCW.
There, he aligned himself with Officer Colt Cabana, whom he later helped win the JCW World Heavyweight Championship.
Thought I was gonna hate everything you were saying until you mentioned Officer Colt Cabana, which makes
Right.
me love it.
How
Right.
I've not seen this? Apparently, yeah. U.S. Marshal Adam J. Pearce helped Officer Colt Cabana win the JCW World Heavyweight Championship.
Officer Cabana.
That's hilarious.
And finally, his last match was against Hangman Page.
Really?
So how about that? Yeah, his last match, which I believe was 6-something years ago, or if that's true, what he said on Raw. Yeah, there you go, Hangman Page. I think that was in Ring of Honor as well. It was either Ring of Honor or PWG, one of the two.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I just Googled Officer Colt Cabana, and there are a lot of videos I need to watch. On
Oh
YouTube.
yeah, okay. We
Like,
have
between-
homework.
From 2010 to 2014, there is quite a few. Colt Cabana versus Dick Justice.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay,
You
we
guys should also if you want fake wrestling cops, you need to look up Team Tremendous.
okay.
Team Tremendous. Okay.
Team Tremendous. Those guys are great.
I'll
They're
write
the
that
ones
down.
that pissed off Cornette with the finger guns.
Oh, okay.
Were they
Last year.
okay? So there's a put the gun down thing here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's them.
Like YouTube that. Yeah, put the gun. Okay, yeah. So it's Officer Colt Cabana and Dick Justice versus Team Tremendous. Put the gun down. It's like that standoff that
Yeah,
they
like a
did on The
Mexican
Office.
standoff, yeah.
It's like everyone's like,
Every-
I can't do it with this thing on.
We've all got
You get it.
yes. It's oh my god. Yeah, Team Tremendous is fantastic. I saw them at Bar Wrestling, and they came out to the Beverly Hills Cop theme.
Oh my god,
I love
and
it.
It was the
Such a
greatest
great
thing.
fucking song too.
It
Yes.
really is.
Yes.
So yeah, so just little one for you. I'll send a clip of that. It's the chop that they chop the shit out of Brody King's chest, and
Ooh.
like I'm a foot away from it. It's so fucking loud. Send it to Gorilla later.
Ooh. Yeah. Speaking of big chops and big boys, I was really Raw was not great, and I did just honestly watch most of just highlights, of course, like on YouTube after the fact. But
Right.
I really kind of enjoyed, and I am enjoying this dynamic between Keith Lee and Sheamus. They've sort of been like mortal enemies, but showing each other respect. And I have a weird feeling they're going to do a short-lived tag team with them.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And I think it could be kind of cool, to be honest with you. Like, I don't hate it. Sheamus with, Cesaro with the bar and everything was absolutely fantastic. That took a while to get going. I mean, it was fucking 9 matches of them seemingly going back and forth, until finally they aligned with each other. So there's something there. There's something that can be done. They seemingly have chemistry. And I also don't think it would be bad for Keith Lee either. I think this might be a nice way to position him in a better light than he has been on Raw, and they've certainly made their mistakes with Keith Lee, but I have this weird feeling that they still are invested and that they can save it. And if Sheamus is a part of that, I'm actually okay with it. Like it sort of works for me. Like it doesn't piss me off, which I'm kind of surprised with. Like I feel like
What kind of a wrestling fan are you not being pissed off
You're
at
right.
something they're doing?
right.
I think that, dude, honestly, like, Sheamus has been around for a long time. He's a former multi-world champion. Like, he's got a little bit of rub, right? So I think that,
And since he came back, he's been a lot cooler in a weird way. You know, like since he came back, like I dig him in like the hat.
you know,
and like
why?
I don't know
'Cause
what
he's
it is,
not
but
doing the braids and the beard,
And he's not
anymore.
just like relying just on the fucking like Celticness.
yeah,
of
he's
it.
like a real person now.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not just Celtic. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
not
It's
just
not
his whole
just
thing.
fella.
I hope.
I loved and sorry, I had to piss real quick, but you guys may have, but I loved Keith Lee's reaction when he actually did break the ring. Like you could tell that was genuine.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was not supposed to happen.
No,
like,
that was
"Whoops,
fantastic."
Whoopsie daisy. I'm too.
Oops.
He was like, "Oh shit, I'm a big boy."
Yeah.
I'm a big boy.
It's like a little kid when he does something accidentally. and
Yeah.
goes, "Ooh."
Yeah, it was like that little break. It was hilarious.
I like
That's what
it.
happens. Wichita Falls, man. Fucking.
I don't know if you guys heard about this too, but apparently Kofi's got a jaw, like broke his jaw.
Yeah, broken jaw.
Yeah.
So he was off TV, which led, of course, Xavier to take on tbar of the retribution.
Teabag.
Which did you see? T-Bar called out fucking allegedly Sammy Guevara on Twitter.
Oh, for stealing his finisher or something?
Yeah,
No, but I saw that
he called him a teenage virgin.
That's funny.
I do love that, but
T-Bar's Twitter game's pretty strong, man.
Yeah, it is pretty
we
strong.
we talked about Ali being on, like,
Yes.
calling out Hogan, right?
Yeah, that was yeah, we talked about that last week. I
Yeah,
think.
but then apparently, like, one of his recent tweets was it's probably a work, but it's quote, we don't know if we'll be able to trust you with a live mic again.
Oh, that's
I,
cool.
saw, I heard that. Yep.
And it was just like he retweeted a picture of him saying, like, on that interview, and I'm just like,
he should have retweeted a picture of Hogan from that radio interview.
he should have. But T-Bar replied to
Burn.
it, and he goes, "Yeah, delete his account next, or hack his account next."
That's awesome. I was gonna say though about the whole like retribution, like New Day thing. I feel like they were actually probably gonna build the New Day, like even if it was just Kofi and Xavier, up to take on retribution, and against all odds, New Day kind of conquer retribution. But with Kofi out, how do you guys feel about an Xavier Woods versus Ali match? Because that to me seems like
watch it.
I think that's got a lot of potential, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
I'd watch
totally
that
cool.
match.
I think it's a good
I'd watch the
showcase.
match.
I think it's a good showcase for the both of them as well.
And I think it's a good way to keep that rivalry going, like you said, kind of that storyline, if that's the route that they're going.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. The picture that fucking Kofi posted of his teeth, though,
Oh, I haven't seen that.
it's just like two pieces of his teeth, like on like a
Ooh.
black like something, and he was like, I literally am spitting my teeth out to like at Cedric Alexander, and he was like,
Okay, it was Cedric then.
and Shelton Benjamin. He was like, you earned my respect tonight. Something to the effect of that. Like, you earned my respect tonight. I'm still spitting my teeth out. And there's a picture of like parts of his teeth on the fucking on something. And he's like, I'm looking forward to the next one.
Interesting. I wonder if that then is more leading to the New Day eventually reforming and going head to head with the Hurt Business. Like that's probably what they think. I don't know. I would guess.
Yeah.
Probably.
Couple more things. Is Shinsuke turning face? Like there's
After that match that he had,
Yeah.
because I was in the hotel room in the fucking greatest city in the world, And I, was watching. I actually did watch
Utica.
SmackDown because, Utica, because I actually had nothing going on and had worked all week and had a fucking flight out at 8 the next morning. Had to be at the airport at 6. But so I was like, oh, I'm just going to sit around and watch this, get some food to my room. And, and I actually did watch SmackDown live, which I haven't done in a while. And I will say that, he had a good showing, and I think that helped him.
It was the best he's looked in a long time.
A long time, like a real long time. I don't ever really understand that type of match because whoever starts
the gauntlet match,
like a gauntlet match, like it never makes sense to me because someone always has the upper hand because they're coming in fresh.
Yep.
But I guess that makes for a good storytelling if it's done right, especially if you have someone from the beginning win it, that sort of thing. You can use it to your advantage in the storytelling. But Shinsuke sticking through those couple of rounds, I thought were great. It was the best showing of him, and I thought that is kind of like a table turner. I mean, it's not like he wasn't a babyface or a fucking heel before. He just wasn't doing it. This is kind of just defined him a little bit more, I guess.
I don't mind Shin as either. I just want him to be spotlighted more, and I want him to
do stuff.
stuff.
Yeah.
I will say though, if he does go back to being a babyface, can we get the original music back? And can we get the one without the rap?
I hate that fucking music, dude. When did they change that? I actually noticed that for the first time. And
when he turned heel. It's when he turned heel because they didn't want people singing along like they were apt to do with the original. The
the one that you came, the one that I played at the wedding.
Yeah. Your goddamn wedding song. But yes, they've not really used that since he turned heel.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be nice if they were to do. I mean, they've got that in their back pocket as kind of a little bit of a just a tasty little treat to bring him back in as like something more important or something more exciting. They've got that in their back pocket that they can use to kind of, if they want, bring him into the fold again. And I can see them giving him one short run before he dips back off to Japan or something. Like I could see something more. Like Shinsuke's not completely done in my eyes. It's
there. Well, I also think that they see that and don't they want to try and give him something to try and keep him around.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think they know he could just drop.
Yeah. I think part of it is the fact that Daniel Bryan is working backstage with creative now.
Good point, especially on SmackDown, and him and Debray have a bit of a history, and they've also I know they've got a lot of respect there, so that's a good point.
Exactly. So I think that's why you're seeing SmackDown start to have moments of oh, this is a decent show to watch.
SmackDown's the better show of the two right now.
Yeah,
without question. I mean,
because of Reginald, but I mean, if you take Reginald away,
you still got shirtless Roman. All I need is shirtless Roman, and I'm good to go.
Sploosh.
Yeah, and Johnny Gargano fucking yelling at you and looking at you in the eye.
Dude, yeah,
that's it. That and Owen is done.
I'm all right. I'm all right.
He was slip sliding around all over that pod. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I had to put down a towel on the passenger seat to drive home.
It was a good thing they supplied that sanitizer, man.
Yeah, it was a good thing they supplied that roll of paper towels.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Both of them. Another thing that I think that you, Matthew, were probably sliding around about was the announcement of NXT's Superstar Spectacle featuring ya boy, your favorite, Jinder Mahal as the major guy.
Fucking Legends Night. Call it what the fuck it is. It's Legends Night. That's what it is.
Goddamn night.
Fucking Legends Night.
So this
every night is Legends Night. We established this last week.
this is apparently kind of like the heritage trophy thing or whatever they called it when they announced the UK like NXT. Like they do a tournament beforehand and then somehow it turns into like NXT UK or now in this case NXT India. It feels very much that way. Of course, we've got Jinder, we've got the Bollywood Boys, we've got anybody with an Indian sounding name appearing on the show that signed a thing. I'm not wrong.
No, you're not wrong. And it's, I think, a way. I mean, that's the thing. I think I don't know what the wrestling crowd is like in India. I know it's there. I know it's fairly large, but I don't know a lot about it, and I don't know what they like and don't like. I have no idea. I won't ever pretend to. But it's like the UK. The UK is huge into wrestling. The UK loves it. WWE has done their tours around there. You know, they go over every year and do it. There's obviously tons of fucking wrestlers that came from the UK because they have huge independent scenes over there. That's obviously where the British strong style started, that sort of thing. So it makes sense that WWE is trying to break into this other market.
It's such a huge market. It's such a massive market that if they can crack it, no one's ever really attempted it. No one's ever really had the shot at it. So it does make complete logical business sense that they would give it a go. And you know, I don't really mind it as much as like the UK one's a little bit more controversial in my mind just because of is it going to destroy the UK wrestling scene that already exists there?
Which it kind of did.
Which it kind of did.
Which it kind of did, which also then kind of makes me ask the question is like, what if they really, and I guess and I may be completely ignorant here, so pardon my ignorance if that is it, but I've not kept up with the UK title, and like it just seems like it's kind of like over here at least not mentioned and prominent, and
it should be. It should
well,
be. They definitely on an NXT need to like mention it a little bit more, show a highlight of a clip of like.
But yeah, I mean, but they've made NXT UK its own thing now.
Yeah,
and the fact that it's just like, oh, it's NXT UK doesn't matter at all. Like I know it still happens,
and they've had some great matches.
Yeah, but they took a really long break for like
they did
quarantine and everything.
See, that's the thing is that, and I feel like if you're breaking into a market like that, like one, you need to penetrate that market, but two, you already have such a fan base, like already in the United States. Why would you not mention it and try and get more people to watch?
Right.
Yeah, which is interesting about this one too, because everything apparently is going to be shot at the PC. Like it's not being shot in India. They're going to have appearances.
It's not inside a Punjabi prison?
No, I mean apparently Great Khali's gym was booked this week.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, but I also came up with something, and I think it's a very strong, maybe call it conspiracy theory. Right, but we've seen all this stuff with
Would you take the Viking helmet off and the animal pelts off, please?
I'll take the Viking helmet off, but what I will do is put on a mask. And what I will say is that my conspiracy theory is the reason that SCU is obviously gonna break up is because Christopher Daniels is signing with NXT India and reigniting his character of Curry Man. And Curry Man
he just got us thrown off the internet for the most racist comments.
Come on, man. If Curry Man's gonna be popular anywhere, it's
he
gonna
literally
be NXT
wears a plate
India.
of curry on his head. And he's hot and spicy.
You know, I waited all show to deliver that joke. I'm sorry.
Spicy. I know it felt like it's been almost a 2-hour ride of us getting to this one gag that Owen wanted to get to.
It's the whole reason for the show.
It's the whole reason. This has happened to me in my life dozens upon dozens of times that this has happened.
Was it worth it?
Son of a
It was
bitch.
so
It's
worth
always.
it. It's always
Look
worth
at him.
it.
Look at him. Of course it was worth it.
I'm glowing. I'm
He's
glowing.
tickled with himself.
We could play the Hall of Fame game again if you want.
I got a couple of quick things if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, go.
So one, I read this article and it got me thinking, and I wanted to ask you guys regarding Sting in AEW. Are we seeing too much of him?
Well, we're seeing too much of him without doing anything.
Exactly, right?
It's getting a little bit like, okay, first couple weeks we could deal with this, like, all right, fine. But without like any direction of where it's going. I mean, I suppose now we know that he is indeed aligned with Darby Allin, and that's a thing, but I need a little bit more. It feels very samey, and it feels very just like, I don't know, put the old man
There's
out there
nothing
to
to it.
wave
They just
around
keep
his
doing
baseball
it.
bat.
Yeah, they keep doing the same thing. I mean, he's not. Yeah, he just keeps coming out to like save someone, save Darby Allin.
It's boring now. Like
Yeah,
they've got to
and
do
it's
something
not
different.
surprising.
Like, are we
In
gonna
my
get
opinion.
are we
Duncan?
gonna get a Taz fucking Sting match? Like, because clearly that's not gonna happen. But
God, could we not with that? That would be terrible.
Yeah.
No, it's really not. I'm like, what? Okay, here we go again. You know what I mean? Like, it's just give me something.
Yeah.
Why are you here other than the fact that your fucking WWE contract ran out?
Yeah.
So,
And you like being on TNT. So, and you
Sure.
wanted to be used. And like, that was the whole thing, I guess, that
yeah,
I'm getting at is that like, he wanted to be used. They made a big deal. Like, he's going to be used more in storylines, but he's not,
but
to
he's
Owen's
not.
point, doing anything.
Right.
He's doing the same thing. So like, I guess you're being used, but you're not doing anything of consequence.
Yeah. You're being used, but to what end?
Exactly. Right.
yeah.
And ratings? I don't know. But so there's that. The other one and final one before we jump into anything else was, did you guys see the new Orange Cassidy shirt and how that came about?
I have not.
Okay, so someone tweeted at Orange Cassidy and said where was it? He said it was, so someone said, so Orange Cassidy posted a video to TikTok, which he posted on Twitter and said, I'm not trying to get involved in TikTok, but here we are. And he posted it to TikTok and he had the link there. And someone had sent him a tweet saying, at Orange Cassidy, you need a shirt like this. Please ignore the quality. Prayer hands. I don't know how to art, but surely someone does. LOL. Oh my God. Or it could be an orange with arms punching. It's so stupid. I need it. Thank you. At AEW. It's like a sketch and it's like someone doing this and it's like, and it says, it has an arrow pointing down, says OJ, and it says karate, but it's spelt with a C instead of a K, pointing down to, and it's wearing sunglasses. And then it says, this is a fist, LOL, with like this like shitty like scratching of it, and says, and then on the side it says, or something like this, LOL, thanks, right? And in the video, he then goes in the TikTok video, it then shows him showing that tweet. And then he goes to Pro Wrestling Tees and shows that he posted it on Pro Wrestling Tees, and you can actually buy it on Pro Wrestling Tees
awesome.
for $24.99. And he said if you've got one, I'll put it up. So I don't know. Maybe we come up with an Orange Cassidy design.
I'm in. Yeah, that's interesting. I kind of love it. I
thought that was kind of hilarious. I don't know, Duncan, if you're looking it up.
I'm looking it up right now. Yes,
kind of a hilarious shirt, and it's actually on Pro Wrestling Tees as his latest shirt.
So it might be something so dumb that I have to buy.
That's typically what happens right after their
funny.
Sales.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Orange punch. Oh my God.
And it says orange punch because of the orange karate.
I love it. If
Oh my God, it is.
I'll give you guys a choice just for the end of the show. We either do our Hall of Fame game, which we've done in the past, where you guess the who inducted who, or I ask you a very personal wrestling question. Where are you guys? Where are you guys leaning?
Well, I mean, let's get
Let's
personal.
go dare. Yeah.
Right. Go dare. You going dare?
Yeah.
We're
Go
going
dare.
with
Alright.
the secret
if it's truth or
feelings
dare,
answer.
Yeah. Also, you said something a second ago, like who inducted who, and I thought you said Hugh inducted Hugh.
Oh, Hugh inducted.
That would be
Hugh.
something he would do.
Yeah,
He
would,
would
yeah.
induct himself.
My
He'd do a goth
neighbor
dance.
Hugh would absolutely induct himself.
But speaking of, there was music playing at NXT,
Oh,
and
God.
I was just like, did Hugh pick this? And
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but I started doing the goth kid dance, and it was just like he started doing that.
It was one of the dark matches at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
That was on 205. Like one of the entrance music. Like, yeah, it was exactly like what my neighbor listens to, which is always just like goth trash. But
Trash from like the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah,
That's great.
like 87, like trash. But there we go. So, okay, here we go. We're getting a little personal. If you would be perfectly fine not ever seeing a single wrestler again or ever encountering his or her entire careers, who would it be?
CM Punk.
I thought of that one, Duncan, but he still
Dolph Ziggler.
he still did have a big impact on things, you know,
Not
and
on me.
without it, things would be different. But CM Punk is definitely a logical one.
For me, the only answer is CM Punk. Like honestly, that's the only person in wrestling that I can say that I absolutely hate without a shadow of a doubt. Like no
I don't even.
questions asked.
I guess I hate. I don't even know if I hate him. I just don't care about.
Just don't care about him. Yeah,
Like literally don't like nothing. And so like I know he is like a historical marker in wrestling, but like the things that he did for me as a wrestling fan, I could care less, and they don't matter to me. In like, because that was like he was actually like my dark period.
Same.
And anything he did has not translated till today, except that he's a fucking douchebag.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's definitely on the list, and it's not a bad choice. Did I hear what I think I heard what you said, Matthew?
Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler. That was one of also my picks. Is the
Zigglestein.
It's just his lack of charisma, like his organic charisma. Not saying the guy's not a workhorse, not saying the guy's not like incredibly talented in the ring. It just has never done it for me. Like you just want to be Shawn Michaels, and that's it. Like that's the beginning and end of your whole thing.
Yeah, and two other things that really fucking irk me about him is one, when his hair gets really frizzy. I fucking hate that. Put more oil in it. And two, he wants to be a stand-up comedian. Never heard a joke he said, never want to hear it. He could be really fucking funny.
I don't think he is.
Care. Go
He's
fuck yourself.
Probably not.
Go fuck yourself. Fuck your cricket commercials. Fuck everything you're doing. Care less.
Here's somebody else. He's not in the WWE anymore, but I could possibly not give any less of a fuck if I never heard anything about him again, and that's Ryback.
Oh, that's a good one too. That's a good one. Yeah,
Because he's a big bag of dumb shit.
Yeah. He says enough dumb shit to occasionally like perk my interest, just because like, okay, it's sometimes interesting to hear like how dumb your shit is that I have to hear it. So that's the only reason I would leave him off this list. But for myself, I'm going to go, and this might be controversial, but Batista. Batista never has done a single thing for me. Yeah. It's just like milk toast. I don't know, like not milquetoast, but just like so stereotypical wrestler. I mean, at least Randy Orton has developed a character, and but Batista never. Like he's just, I'm cool, I'm badass. Like that's it.
Well, that's
like,
what it is now. That's what it wasn't. What it was not. What it was. Words are hard. It wasn't what
like
it
a
was.
triple negative, What was
Dude.
that?
Fuck. I don't even know. It's late. It wasn't always like that. Like in the Evolution days, when the Evolution split happened, like I cared, right? But now, like we did the WrestleMania match with Trips, didn't give a shit. I didn't need him to come back and just not be able to cut a promo and just scream, "You know what I want, give me what I want."
Yeah.
I think Goldberg after WCW,
He's on that
It's
list.
a good one. Yeah.
like in WCW, totally one thing.
Yeah.
But
Different animal,
that,
completely different
yeah.
animal after that. I feel like Natalia falls into this category for me, and I know that she's good for like the training
I was
talent.
gonna
and
say
everything.
Dana Brooke. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 I mean,
It's in
yeah,
there.
okay.
Like I could very much do without ever that being a thing. I'm sure there's more, and
There are
you know.
definitely more. I'm trying to think because I feel like I've said it on
but this
the
is
show.
like
I'm like,
this
I
is
fucking
like
hate
just
that
completely.
person.
But this is wiping them from existence at all.
Yeah.
At all. Yeah.
So it's like that makes it a little bit more difficult, right? Warrior.
Yeah. Ooh, I can't wipe Warrior completely from existence though, just because of Papa Shango and the Black Ooze. Like,
Sure.
you
Sure.
know,
I mean, that's really worth keeping him around for. But
And
like,
The only reason I can't
Wow.
fully wipe him is just because it's and that sounds way dirtier than it is. I can't fully wipe him, but it's because
you didn't say
he
you can't
is-
fully jerk him off or anything.
Right.
yeah,
It could
you
be a
guys
lot
are the one
worse.
that sucked dicks to get into NXT.
Shut up!
Hey,
Don't
man.
talk about
But-
it. It was 10.
But he was one of the things that really, as a kid, like got me into
Yeah.
wrestling and got me started. Like, so I have to give him that credit because he was such a big thing then when I was young. I still remember
That's like Hogan
going,
for me.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like then when I was watching him, then I got hooked on Hogan, and Macho Man then was like the big thing for me, and like, you know, like, but it was, I started watching, I still remember going to my friend Tony's house, and I spent the night, and then on the Saturday morning we were fucking like in his mom's bedroom, and she had this little fucking TV in her bedroom, you know, and wrestling was on, and he introduced me to it, you know. He wasn't like,
Yep.
hey, let's watch it. It was just on, and we were eating fucking cereal, and like that show got me, and I was like every Saturday morning wanting to fucking watch wrestling from then on out. Like, eat cereal, fucking watch wrestling, you know, like fuck cartoons, I want to watch this, you know.
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
and Warrior, for as bad of a human being as he is or was, like,
he does have
that-
an
he
impact,
got
man.
me.
Like,
And he got
absolutely.
me. He was one of the things, because on that show, he was, I remember vividly, I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, I want to watch this.
No, you're absolutely right, and we'll leave this show with this. We're all wrong because I figured out the perfect one. Fuck Griff Garrison. Fuck you, Griff Garrison. Like you're
I'm taking this off to do a double.
yeah.
Here we go.
Boys, it's been another wonderful episode. Again, episode 99. Hopefully, we'll have some special treats for you next week for episode 100. No, that not happening. Well,
I was just looking at this.
oh, just looking at his swelling of his ugly finger, which was, by the way, attacked by sea urchins. Or
Hey,
something.
sea urchins, you just made the fucking list.
Yeah.
That's a throwback. That's going to our show right there.
Absolutely. Check out NobodyCaresGoHarder.com if you want to listen to these two guys. It's been a while, but I'm sure they'll do it up soon. Also, of course, check out Oh No Media, Oh No Radio Show, anything Oh No. You just type it in your Googles and I'm sure it'll pop up. Patreon.com/ONRS, Twitch.tv/ONRS Live. If you ever want to even leave a voicemail for us, you can do that at 407-906-6466. Join our Facebook group, have some fun with us over there, and boys, what do we say when we get out of here?
I am Le Champion.
Woo-woo!